Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast. I'm Gimli, and tonight I'll be joined by, first up, after last week's intro about his escapades with cats, I've been told to introduce him only as Danny. Hello, Danny.
She's so unlike me mother.
I know. I've kept it clean this week.
I know. I thought you were going to tell everybody that I have a dog named after me and why.
You
But as
do
you
have a dog. You do. One of the puppies is named Danny, and he's literally only called Danny because when he's feeding from his mum, he's got the biggest spread. I mean, he is fat.
yeah, fat.
So it's literally, we've got one called Dom, who's the little white one, who Dom requested to be called that. We've got the other little Jeff, and we've got Fat Danny, and the rest of the rest of them are called Jeff.
They're all called Jeff.
They're all called Jeff. And my mum goes, "Oh, I send pictures to my mum." And she goes, "Oh, which one have you got there?" Just Jeff. It's just easier. Right then. Next up, fresh from hosting this week's radio show, and still our favourite Welshie, the man, the myth, the wardrobe, it's Jason Davis. Hello, Jason.
The man, the myth, the wardrobe.
I don't know.
To be fair, I've been called far worse than that.
I know.
By you.
The other week. No, they didn't hear it. We had to do the intro twice. It was a terrible affair.
Oh, it was awful. You
It
alright?
was. Yes, I'm not too bad at all, thank you. How's your good self? Have you had lots of snow like me?
I had a bit today, but it's not sticking. It's all a bit damp down here. So it's all tidy.
I heard you lot were wet down there.
Oh yeah, you don't want to know why either.
Oh, gee.
Oh no, the bloody taps aren't working.
Oh, Christ almighty. Next up, she's ABW's only lady, and we're damn proud to have her. It's Gooner Girl Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hello, I'm not sure I'd go as far as saying lady though.
I'd ask you how you were, but literally I only saw you about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, when I brought baby Dom back down. That's Lucy. She's barking at the cats.
Oh, bless her. That's mummy to the pups.
That's mummy. Yes.
Right. And finally, some might call this man the Marmite of podcasting, but we love him. It's my pleasure to introduce back to the show Gav from She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. My God, it's been some time, hasn't it?
Yeah, not long enough though.
It's nice to have you back, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good catching up and having a quick gossip with you lot beforehand. Do you know what I mean, I have missed talking to you lot sometimes.
I'll behave yourself. And you're on Monday as well, aren't you?
Is it Monday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's transfer window,
Transfer
deadline
week.
day. Let's all, take the day off and sit in front of Sky Wanky Sports all day.
8 p.m.
Glad you're up for it then.
Yeah, no, I'm well up for it. Yeah, I'm on 8 p.m. and I with my
Yes.
with my good friend Mr. Raj.
Yes, you sound like you're chomping at the bit for it.
Yeah, no, like I say, I'm kind of hoping we do a bit more business. Do you know what I mean? That'd be nice. It'd be nice if there's a little bit of excitement for us on the last day. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bit of a damp squid, isn't it?
You never know, you might get lucky. We might all fuck off home at 8 o'clock anyway.
Might have to.
It's been known.
Yeah.
Right. As always, we start the show with all the Arsenal scores from across the board. So, Danny, let's have them.
Right, the Pirates lost 5-0 in a friendly on Chris's birthday this Sunday. They've signed a new player called Insert Player's Name here because I forgot, and I was just about to look at WhatsApp to see what he said the player's name was. And
Obviously, it's not very good.
And they've got a game. Their next game is against someone reserves. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Oh, poor bugger.
I forgot to bloody say what it was.
He was having a bad enough week last week as it was.
So he got trounced 5-0 on his birthday. Oh.
See,
Terrible.
the thing is, if the players can't perform for you on your birthday, then I'll just give up management. Really, if we all remember Arsene Wenger at Chelsea.
Yeah, on his 1000th.
Yeah, that's it. Just give up, mate.
Well, I was looking at the BarbicanPirates.com, I think the site is, and their young Callum has got 13 goals in 9 games. That's impressive.
Yeah, the problem is they're letting in 86.
Oh, it's disgraceful. And the new player they've got is a defensive midfielder, and I can't remember what his name is. Anyway, 2 days ago, Arsenal under-19s got knocked out of the UEFA Youth League. They conceded the goal after 30 seconds to Atletico Madrid, so that's all over. And then last Saturday, the under-18s went to Southampton and lost 1-0. That's all they wrote.
Is that it? That's the lot?
Yeah, the women aren't playing yet.
I would say short but sweet, but it wasn't. It was really short but shit, really.
But we will be when their seasons start. We will be giving updates on Anders Limpar's team that he manages.
Is it Solentuna or something like that?
Oh, well done. And also our very own other Jason's Carolina Railhawks, hoo-ha, I think they say. So
You're gonna be like the man that does the scores at the end of Football Focus.
hopefully one day it'll take an hour just to do the scores.
Oh Christ, that'd be good. I mean, that'd make the notes easy to write, wouldn't it? Right. What better way to properly start off this week's podcast than to talk about our 3-2 win over Brighton? Jace, would you like to start us off with this one?
Yeah, okay. We started really brightly, didn't we? Straight into them. Early goal. The first half was they weren't there, were they? They weren't at the races at Brighton. It was all us. We were playing some lovely stuff. Just great pressure. Who scored the first? I can't remember who scored the first though.
Walcott.
Yeah,
No, I
Walcott.
think it was about 90 seconds, something like that.
I mean, fantastic feat from Colin Chambers down the right hand side. You know, his footwork was excellent. Came in, looked up, great cross, and fabulous skill by Walcott. He killed it, and just a sublime finish. You know, it was really good for his confidence coming back from injury, especially after the miss against Stoke, etc. It was fantastic. And then we just carried on in that vein. Rosicky ran the midfield. Flamini and Rambo just hold as the hold-in sort of midfielders up and down. I thought Giroud was very good. I thought we were very decent. The second goal for bloody what's his job, Giroud. Was great. It was fantastic. Again, you know, a fantastic setup by Rosicky. From Ozil, sorry, not Giroud. What am I on about? The through ball from Rosicky was fantastic. We'd pulled them all over the park. It was great build-up play. You know, they were at 6s and 7s, killer ball through, and then the touch he took and the finish was magnificent. So, you know, 2 guys coming back from injury, 2 goals was great. Second half, in all fairness, they came back into it. They had a go at us. They pulled one back. Chambers has got a leap there to challenge the ball. And we were kind of caught flat-footed. Great finish from wherever the Brighton lad is. I have no idea. I have no interest in his name. And then the Rosicky goal to bring it back to 3-1. You know, a fantastic no-look pass from Rosicky and a great ball back in from Giroud. And what a finish. And they scored and we kind of saw it out. It was nice and easy. There was no problem. But it was you know, after the shocks on the weekend, good to get a win. A nice away trip for Gav. And you know, a good result, isn't it? Happy days.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of people have said that, you know, football is a game of 2 halves. And in the first half, I don't think that there's anyone that can really knock us or complain about the way that we played. But it certainly did seem that in the second half, we might have gone off a little bit of the boil. What would you say, Gav, to the people that said that this game was very much like watching the Arsenal of how they should be playing and the Arsenal of how they've been playing this season in the second half?
I don't know. I mean, I think you can sort of say that there's been a turnaround over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, really. Look, not only have we've been getting the result, but we've also been getting the performance in. And like I say, first half, I mean, as Jason said, from my drunken recollection of the first half, I don't remember seeing much of Brighton down their end whatsoever. Much the same as most of the second half as well. It just seemed like, you know, we was just too good for them, and you know, we was just a little bit better than them all over the pitch, which, you know, we should be. But I don't think Brighton they're not that bloody good, are they? Do you know what I mean? That was a sort of cup tie that could have been a problem, but it weren't. It was just a very professional sort of performance. Get out, keep the ball, sit in their half. It was just one of those, really. Like I say, I mean, I was happy enough. More than happy enough, really. You know, you've got to be happy when you win any FA Cup game, really. But like I say, I ain't really got a great deal to talk about the game, really, because I was that bloody drunk.
That's fair enough. We'll go to Kate next. And Kate, we saw a very early goal from Theo Walcott. How nice was it to see him get on the score sheet after all of his injury problems?
So happy for Theo. love Theo. He's had bad luck with injuries. I don't know whether that's through training not right or whatever. I don't go into that's Dom's thing. But it was really good to see him score. I mean, I was at work, so I didn't see any of it. I only saw the highlights when I got back. So I did only see the best bits, in all fairness. But it was so good to see him back on the pitch and getting back to how he was before he got injured.
And that's a good point you raised there. Danny, next. How close do you think he is to where he was before he got injured? Because he'd found a little bit of a rich vein of form, and he was scoring goals, and, you know, the fans were on his side. And the injury came at such a bad time for him, really. Are you glad to see him back and scoring goals?
Yeah. Oh, it's delightful. The way that they always say that killer instinct as a striker. Which some would say he's a striker, some would say he's a forward, some would say he's a winger. But that killer instinct for it, I mean, he had half a second to react to that cross from was it Chambers or Bellerin? No, it's from the right hand side. I'm picturing it in my head, but it just comes straight across and then from Chambers, and it just comes straight across and bang, he hits it. Perfectly. I know he got a lot of grief from the last game because he was 1-on-1 with the goalie and he put it wide, didn't even get it on target. But you look at the games he's got coming up. He's got Villa, not known for their defending because they were first part of the season, and then we've got them up the lane who were just shit anyway. They couldn't defend to save their lives. They let 2 goals in 2 minutes against third division Sheffield United last night, and then Leicester, they're shit. Middlesbrough, they're shit. Palace, they're shit. And then you've got Monaco and Everton there, and then QPR, and then West Ham. It's just endless number of games here where he can just get goals and goals, even if he only comes on and plays a little bit, because we've got everybody coming back from injury now, so he'll be able to get a run, play him when he wants to play him, rather than playing him because he has to play him. So
is that what you do with him?
Yeah, I'll just play him every now and then.
Just give him
back in.
Say a sub on a league game, and when we go and play like a cup game, say FA Cup.
Got to mix it up. I mean, I think he's got to mix it up. I mean, firstly, going back to one of the points on Theo is that if he has too much time to think about what he's doing, he's more likely to fuck it up. If he hasn't got any thinking time, he's more likely to do, to act on instinct. Like I say, which is what Danny said, and obviously going on from that, the fact of he's quite a big confidence player. Theo's one of these players that he's got to be confident. When he's confident, like he was before he got injured, he can run teams ragged. But as it is at the moment with him, and Ox, who's done brilliantly and has had brilliant games down the right, especially when we was playing badly. It's time now. Do you know what I mean? This is where we should be. With the Arsenal, we should have 2 good players in every position. And he should be able to pull one out, bring one in, play Theo for 60 minutes, chuck the Ox on for the last half hour, and vice versa. That's the position we should be in.
But Gav, we've seen in recent weeks Walcott starting to get some game time. We've seen Ozil come back as well. Rambo's come back from an injury. Really, there's no excuse now to start winning games and winning them comfortably, is there? Because we've got nearly a fully fit squad.
I don't think there was ever an excuse anyway. I mean, like I say, the problems that we had at the beginning of the season was due to the fact that, with defensive issues and defenders being out and defenders being suspended and getting injured and blah blah blah, and that's something that everybody called in the summer. So I mean that's not really a surprise, but and again, like we were the other season when I think a few of you on here laughed at me when I said we've been lucky that we've had all the injuries in midfield, because we've got so many players that can come in and are pretty much interchangeable. And it's much the same as how we are now. We've got a lot of players that are interchangeable, and Wenger's biggest problem, which he'll have when everybody's fit, is who he plays and the dynamics of who plays together. Because obviously, the Wilshere and Ramsey combination, it don't work. It's very much a Lampard bloody Gerrard situation with them two. But like I say, that's where Wenger's got to sort of earn his crust now. Really, now everybody's fit, is to sort of pick the right combinations for the right, against the right opposition.
And Jace, you might have heard last week's podcast where Danny and Raj were having a quick interjection about how sad it was that, say, a player like Wilshere, maybe doesn't get a starting spot anymore. But surely you've got to say that that's good that we've got competition across the teams for places. For example, look in goal. I don't think there's any reason why Ospina should be dropped for the league games. And you've got two quality keepers fighting for a position. Now, if it's like that across the team, competition breeds success. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the issues we've had at the back with injuries this season, I mean, poor Debussy, nobody could have called Debussy getting injured so badly. We did know we had an issue with tendonitis with Cos and what have you. And I agree Wenger should have bought somebody in the summer for that. Our right back's been a bit different. But again, that healthy competition, hopefully that is going to really start driving performances up where people know they have to perform week in, week out to keep their position. We need a large squad. We've got a lot of games coming up. As soon as you get back into Champions League and FA Cup starts coming around and you're back to Saturday, Wednesday, you need that healthy competition. And because the squad seems to get on so well, that's going to play into it as well, where it's a good, healthy competition, not cutthroat, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to have their day.
No, exactly right. And you did bring up a very, very good point. And over to Kate next. The whole harmony around the squad. Have we seen the squad this united for some time now? Because, Twitter being a wonderful thing, we get to see a little bit of an insight into, say, the dressing room and the players and what they do after training and whatnot, or even at training. Do you think that there's a certain harmony around the squad that could maybe see us go on with this group of players and get some trophies?
I think there seems to be. I don't know. We seem to have missed it for a while. I don't know what that is, but now it seems to be back, and we're playing together as a team rather than each individual trying to take the glory. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably not the right way to put it, but they do seem to be coming together as a team, and I don't see a problem with the posting selfies after a match.
Yes, that's a very good point you bring up there as well, because Jamie Carragher came out and said that, I can't think of the words that he actually used to describe it, but basically said that, taking selfies in the dressing room after a game was lame. If anyone went on Twitter, they could probably pick up 15, 20 pictures of the Liverpool squad. However, he's not slagging them off. Is this just an example of negative Arsenal journalism, Danny?
Yeah, I think it is just now we're doing well, they've got to find something else to moan about. I think that's just the gist of it. There's no more to say than that, really.
Fair enough.
What do you think? Do you think it is?
Yeah, I do.
Carragher's a cock.
Yeah, Carragher
He's
is
a complete fucking prick. He is just coin tossing prick.
Let's be honest, okay? He couldn't stick his head further up his arse if he tried.
I think that the problem, the problem that we're getting at the moment as well is there's so many of these ex-players that are trying to be decent commentators that they're all kind of trying to say something that gets them hits, which makes them more popular because they think that's the way to go, and they're saying fucking stupid things, and a lot of them ain't got two fucking brain cells to rub together. I mean, especially that fucking Neville prick. Do you know what I mean?
We've got a bit on that, so hold on that one. It is coming.
Okay, he's a cock as well, by the way.
Okay,
yes, he is.
Fair enough. Right, we'll move on to Ozil's goal next. And Danny, if you want to hit us with an Ozil watch first.
Certainly do. Well, you didn't. Sometimes the site that we use doesn't like FA Cup games, but for some reason they've actually done the Ozil stats. But I think there might be bits missing. It says pass accuracy of 93%, aerials 1-0, touches 93, which isn't too bad. Fouls none, total shots 1. And tackles 1 at an average rating of 7.7. But then I said, well, why don't we do the best player, the man of the match, who was Tomas Twinkle Toes Rosicky. Pass accuracy 86%, 100% of aerials, 93 touches, 3 shots, 7 dribbles, average rating of 9.7. Amazing.
It is. It's on a different class, and we'll talk about the goal. And as we all know, Ozil has come in from a lot of criticism, and it has been negative criticism. And you've probably seen this week that there's been a lot of stories regarding the fact that he's bulked up in the time that he's had off with his injury. Jason, how much of a difference does that make for him to be more physically competitive? And, did he have to build himself up very much in a way that Fabregas did when he came to Arsenal to be able to play in the English league?
To be honest, I really don't know. I mean, if you look at it, he was getting criticism that he was lazy and that he didn't care, etc. Yet his stats on amount of yardage covered, etc., told a very different story. A lot of it is having a pop at him because he's an easy target. He's got that languid style about him. He's a bit of an introvert. He's not an Alexis Sanchez who's hustle and bustle and what have you, but he still covers the ground and what have you. Him bulking up will help him, no doubt. When you got somebody who's going to come in and just try to barge, etc., that's going to happen. But he's gonna. When you're coming back from a long injury like that, there's only so much work you can do on your legs. So he's going to go into the weights. He's going to swallow some weights and bulk up. Hopefully, it will give him a bit of extra confidence. As he's coming back from injury. It's a long road back from that injury, and he's still in recovery, very much the same as in rehab, rather, very much the same as Walcott is. They're not 100% fit yet. It's going to take time. They've got to get match fit. They've got to get that rustiness out of the system. It's just going to take a little time. It's not going to do him any harm, is it?
No. And for anyone listening there, that was a Welsh ambulance behind Jason.
It's a car alarm. Somebody's nicking a car outside.
Oh, fair enough. Sounds like Cardiff to me. Kate, Ozil got on the score sheet, and how much of a confidence boost would that have been for him after all the negative press that he's got?
It's got to have given him a boost of some sort for him to get a goal in his first real match back. And so happy that he scored. Love Ozil. Loved him since the minute we signed him. And once he gets back, he's fully fit. He's match fit. He's played a few games. I think he's going to be a little star, and that's what we need for the end of this season to try and help keep us in the top 4 spaces. But combine him with Sanchez and Walcott, and it's an exciting midfield we've got.
It is, isn't it? Because you couldn't sit there and go, oh, right, I'd have him, and him. It's just we've got so many exciting attacking players and technically gifted players coming back to the squad who have not featured in such a long time. Gav, surely that's got to have you foaming at the mouth, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's been great the way that Santi's turned himself around from his. I mean he was poor at the beginning of the season as well.
Very poor.
But like I say, now he's had his best games over the last month, and now Ozil's back. So it's another juggling act because can you play both of them together? And Santi's been playing so well, the freedom of being in the middle, which is good, which is where you want to be. You want to have 2 top players like that who can interchange and who are fighting each other to actually get games. And like I say, that's the position that we should be in.
And where do you play him, Gav? Do you play him through the middle, or do you stick him back out on the left wing?
Who, Santi?
Ozil.
His best position is down the middle. So like I say, I would leave him in the middle. But like I say, I'd find it very hard for him to drop Santi at the moment. So again, it would be a case of them picking their matches and perhaps, bringing one off after, the 75th minute with Wenger's famous substitution at that time. It's true, Jace. You know what I mean? So like I say, there's see, the thing is, and now we're in a position where we have got decent players and we have got 2 decent players that are fit in each attacking position. We shouldn't just be playing people out of position, out of what was necessity because of the weaknesses of the squad. So, it is a case of now, unfortunately, everyone's fit. Sorry, I mean, Wenger's got to make a decision and chuck one of them on the bench.
Exactly. And then you've got to add into that Tomas Rosicky, a man who has spent a large part of his career injured while at Arsenal. And I've spoken to people like Dom who said because he's had all these injuries through his career, his body hasn't been through the rigours of playing 90 minutes of football, a couple of times a week. He can still go on and perform for us for another couple of years easily. Danny, is that something you'd agree with? And does he get game time for you?
I think because he's had a couple of niggling injuries, and a couple of times he has come back and he hasn't played brilliantly. We tend to, like with most things in life, you only tend to remember the brilliant stuff. But there has been a couple of games where he's played the whole game and he's done nothing. But he is one of my favourite players at the club. His attitude is brilliant. His scoring the goal, running to the crowd and shouting "fucking yes" or whatever it was he shouted was absolutely brilliant. But he isn't good enough against the top teams. I mean, I say that he got the goals against Spurs last season, which will make him a legend forever. But who would you leave out? You've only got two players that can play in that position, isn't it? If you're going to play him in central midfield, then it's got to be Ramsey and Santi playing in the middle.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Was it the Capital One Cup exit? Was it to Chelsea?
Southampton.
And he played Southampton, that's the one.
No, it's rubbish.
And
the whole team were rubbish, not just him.
Dog shit. I remember sitting here chatting to you and saying that I love Tomas Rosicky, and I just remember watching him in the Euros before we signed him, and he scored two amazing goals for the Czech Republic, and I thought, cool, I'll have a bit of that at Arsenal. And I find it so difficult to say anything negative about him.
Yeah, he played the whole game against Southampton in the League Cup, got booked in the 88th minute.
He was shocking. Didn't he give away a penalty as well or something like that?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but
they did score a penalty. Tadic scored one.
I think actually it was Bellerin, wasn't it? But Rosicky was just awful in that game. But your thoughts, fellas and lady, on Tomas Rosicky. Kate, do you think he deserves a place in the team, or do you think he's going to be very much we'll play him when we need him? He's quality to come on, and he's a player that can just quite simply do a job.
On current form, I think he deserves a starting place.
Really?
Yes,
that's an interesting...
I like him. I like him as a player. I think he's got the potential to create the right passes that you need to get the goals. And sometimes this season, that's what we've been lacking.
But better than Santi, though? Because Santi's
on
top
not
form
based on Santi, no. I wouldn't drop Santi for him. But, I don't know. It's so difficult. We've got such a multitude of talent in midfield. It is a tough one to do. But then he has got the potential.
And we should definitely talk about his goal as well. And Jace, will go to you for this one. It was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, we've had Phil Neville go on Match of the Day and say that if a player did that, that he would have absolutely smashed him. And he would recommend. He said something about not recommending his children to do that kind of thing. So basically, in a nutshell, Phil Neville is saying to his kids that he can't be, or they shouldn't be, creative, because what Rosicky did there, surely it was a stroke of genius, wasn't it?
It was just very good play, wasn't it? And when you come to the sort of moronic level of a Phil Neville, okay, a guy who, whenever he tries to step over, he probably falls off the fucking ball. He hit his head against the wall so many times. The brain cells are just dead when you say something like that, And to be honest, 2-foot him, he couldn't fucking catch him.
Do you know what? It's that kind of cunty mentality that gave away the penalty against Romania that fucking saw us get knocked out.
But no offence, okay? I don't give a damn about English football. Other than the Arsenal, I couldn't give a monkeys, okay? It's your business. You lot get on with it. But why do you think you're not winning World Cups and European Championships? Because all these skillful players just get kicked the shit out of. It's that mentality which is wrong with the English game. Okay, and it's the same in Wales. Sorry, but when you got pricks like that on Match of the Day, what sort of example is that to kids? I'm going to 2-foot you. Rosicky played a lovely game of football. The skill level on show. He's giving people the eye. He's looking the other way, passing another. He was an example to kids. As Arsene Wenger said, if you love football, you love Tomas Rosicky. If you go the Phil Neville route, well, do you know what? We don't love football. Let's kick the shit out of him. It's pathetic. The guy is pathetic. He tries backtracking, saying, "Oh, it was said tongue-in-cheek." No, it wasn't, Phil. I saw it. You're a wanker.
So if and Gav, this is probably quite a poignant one for you. If Thomas Rosicky is called Little Mozart, does that make Phil Neville Little Piers Morgan?
I don't know. I don't think what he said is that bad. I mean, nothing's as bad as being that prick Morgan. But he's just like say, Jason got it bang on. I mean, everything Jason said there was absolutely correct. I mean, it shouldn't be the mentality of English or British footballers to say, any bit of skill, what you've got to do is kick them. I mean, like I say, Jason's bang on by saying that we're never going to win European Cups and World Cups with that kind of attitude, and it's pricks like Neville who will probably get a chance at doing some coaching. Hopefully not, probably not at a big club, but he'll probably get a coaching job at some stage or another, and it's just not right. It's just not right that people like him should really be saying that whatsoever. I mean, he was never fucking much. To be fair, apart from kicking people, the fella was pretty fucking shit anyway. Do you know what I mean? But at least, his brother, who did have the more talent, and again, his brother liked fucking kicking people. They kicked the shit out of fucking Reyes. More or less finished Reyes playing in this country. The treatment the fucking Man United handed out to him one game. At least he comes across as not as much of a cunt as his younger brother.
Sorry, Gav. It's one of those things. Do you remember there's that stat? Man United didn't have a penalty given against them at Old Trafford for 10 years in the Premier League because they got away with it because Ferguson used to intimidate the referees, etc. Okay.
Yeah, the referee wouldn't get his glass of wine after the game, would he?
Exactly, and you got that. Okay, so they're allowed to kick people. So and it just becomes part of the game. For whatever you want to see. Do you want to pay your money to watch talented footballers give you some proper skill on the pitch where you can watch beautiful football? We were talking about the Brighton game. We played some lovely stuff the first half. It was really great to watch, okay? I know Brighton weren't very good, but we were good. And it's a pleasure to watch it, okay? That's what you want your football to be. You don't want these morons, kicking hell out of each other. I love rugby for my violence. That's where I want to see my violence, on the rugby pitch, not on the football pitch. It's ridiculous.
No, this is very true. Kate, do you have anything to say about Phil Neville? He did actually tweet while the game was going on and Arsenal scored the goal. He said something along the lines of, "Wow, what a great piece of skill. What a superb goal from Thomas Rosicky." Then he slagged him off on Match of the Day. And then 10 minutes after Match of the Day, he turned around and he said, "Oh, well, if you all took that seriously, it was tongue-in-cheek." And now I learned literally yesterday that haven't the BBC, they've had a word with him and basically said, this isn't the message you want to give out to people watching Match of the Day. So he got sanctioned for it. Right or wrong, your thoughts on Mr. Neville, please?
Do you really want me to get started on Mr. Neville?
I know you've got the words in you, so let's hear them.
You were there when I was watching Match of the Day on Saturday, Sunday, or whenever it was night, and I blasted the C-bomb about 6 times, and I don't use that word very often. I completely agree with Jason. He is an arrogant, horrible little wanker. He wasn't a good footballer. He's an even worse pundit. And I don't even like watching telly when he's on it. You know that mute button that you've got? Or actually with Sky Plus when you can fast forward him? Do it every time. Stupid, horrible man. And to condone two-footing someone is just, like Jason said, what kind of message is that to give to kids? It really isn't great. And I'm pleased that the BBC have sanctioned him for it because he just makes me angry.
Makes your piss boil.
He does make my piss boil.
Brilliant.
What a thought.
We'll carry on by going back to the game then.
Any more snow and you might have to boil your piss to fucking drink. Do you know what I mean? That's all your pipes freeze up down there.
As long as it's not yellow snow.
Oh.
All right. Danny, to you. We saw Szczesny get a start in this game. Is this now him back in the squad, or would it be unfair to say drop a Spina?
No, it's not him in the squad. No, he will be dropped for the Villa game, hopefully, and also the Spurs game. Don't need. But the first thing he did in the first 5 minutes against Brighton, he came wandering out the area, didn't he? Bloke's a twat. I'd bench him until Ospina has some bad games. In
So
fact, I'd rather see bloody the Argentinian lad. What's his name?
Martinez.
I'd rather see Martinez play than Szczesny.
So apart from that, then, how did Szczesny actually do on the day? Do you think he put up a competent performance, or do you think it was very much the same old, very boring?
Yeah, I think he scared the shit out of the back four as usual by being a twat. It's permanently knowing there's somebody behind you. He's dicking around. For all they know, he could be in with the crowd. He could be asleep. He could be writing a book. He could be drinking out of his lovely Arsenal merchandise that he's probably nicked from the club shop. He's probably full of vodka. I don't know. I don't like his attitude, and quite frankly, I was one of his. I thought a couple of seasons ago he was fantastic. The season where we had the bloke from Palermo, the goalkeeper. I thought that pushed him. That was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Fabianski pushed him.
Yeah, and I think with those two there, they pushed him, and he had a really good season. But this season, he's turned to shit again. I mean, that's comparative to how he has been before. But no, I don't trust him. I don't like his attitude. Apparently, he's a bit of an arsehole anyway. Fuck him. Let us be in a play.
But is there anybody else that wanted to say anything on Szczesny?
Yeah, there was a part in the second half of the game where the camera panned on him. It was after the second goal, I think. He looked rattled. He looks as if his confidence has taken a hell of a knock. He wasn't. Szczesny's an arrogant bloke. Goalkeepers have got to be. To get to where they are, you've got to be arrogant. You've got to have self-belief. But he looked really rattled, and it was a while after the goal as well. But he just looked as if his confidence has taken a real battering. I think Wenger might have really taken him down a peg or two. He did not look the normal Szczesny. We've seen Szczesny let in 6. He's never looked that rattled to me.
But we saw him on the bench against Man City, and to coin one of my phrases, he had a face on him like a bulldog licking piss off a thistle. So, Gav, you've got to say, as a professional footballer, sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and say, I've been crap, or I've done wrong, X, Y, and Z. And then when you have that opportunity, you've got to take that opportunity with both hands. And it doesn't seem to me like against Brighton he did.
No, like I say, I mean, he's got to suck it up. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. I mean, it's not, he hasn't had a settled or, back four in front of him all year, so that hasn't been easy for himself. But neither was his decision making. And with keepers, you're in a position where you make one mistake, it's a goal. Forward or midfielder can make half a dozen mistakes in the game, and there's not really much of a difference in the actual outcome of the game. So he's in the keeping is a sort of pressurised position, and they do have to be slightly mad. I mean, all the decent keepers have been slightly fucking bonkers. Do you know what I mean? So no, they have been. I mean, you look at Jens Lehmann, Bruce Grobbelaar. I mean, you can name hundreds of them. Do you know what I mean? Who are just a bit fucking short of a picnic, really. But he's just got to suck it up. He's got to do, he's got to get his head together, because obviously his head's gone a little bit. He's got to get his form back again. He's got to train well. He's got to train hard, and he's got to force Wenger to make the decision to put him back in. And he didn't do that. He didn't do it against Brighton.
Yeah. It's a test of character for him now, isn't it? I mean, he's a talented player, but it's now a real test of character for him.
Yeah, no, and like I say, I mean, it's been the first time in a while that he's actually had serious competition from another keeper who is a seriously good keeper. I mean, Ospina was probably one of the standout keepers of the last World Cup.
Yep, I'd agree with you there.
We did well to get him, and we was unfortunate that he came injured or he got injured just after he joined us or whatever. But like I say, it's serious competition if he wants to get his place back. And Ospina, he's doing the right thing. He's coming in, he's looking steady, he's not making mistakes. Seems like the back four like him and trust him. Maybe a few of the players have got the ump with Szczesny. Who knows?
I've seen a few people, or I can't even remember where I heard it from, that said he's a lot like Manuel Neuer without the ability. Danny, do you think that's fair?
On who?
Szczesny?
No, I don't think he's anything like Manuel Neuer. He's not even an anagram of Manuel Neuer, and I think it's a disgrace. You could play Manuel Neuer in a blindfold and he'd be better. He's so good that he's like a sweeper. He's like a sweeper goalie.
But I
He's
think
brilliant.
basically what they mean is the fact that Neuer comes out and he's a very busy goalkeeper, but he's also very very good at his reactions and his saving.
Szczesny's busy too, being a twat.
Yeah, but
Flapping around at the edge of the box, trying to run out to the halfway line with the ball.
I'm not even going to try to explain it, so we'll move on.
Go on.
Right, we came into the game knowing we wouldn't be facing Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Swansea in the next round. Southampton. So are we now favourites for this one, Kate?
Apparently not, from what I read in the week. Manchester United are 2-1 favourites or something to win the FA Cup, even though they could have beat Cambridge at Cambridge.
And
so
that's piss poor.
It really is, but I don't know. I don't think we're favourites, and it's nothing that we can take for granted. It's just we've got to play each game at a time. I mean, if we come out and play shit, we're not going to win, are we? And if we've got Szczesny in goal, he'll probably concede 2 more goals while he's picking at his teeth than what we've scored. So it's all about who comes out and plays well on the day. I don't think we're favourites, no.
No, that's fair enough. Is there anybody that wanted to interject there? And, do you think we're favourites, Gav?
Yeah, of course we are.
Let's see. I like it.
I mean, it's like last season when Man City lost in the semi-finals, wasn't it? It just sort of the draws just sort of seemed to open up in front of us, and it's done it again this season. And there should be no excuses. I mean, to why we can't go on and win this. I can't. I mean, I wouldn't even be troubled if we got Man United away at the moment. The way we're playing compared to the way they're playing, it would not bother me in the slightest. No. I can't see any of the teams in there. There's a few that obviously you won't really want, but the draw's just opened up. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. As long as we apply ourselves well and Wenger doesn't, put out the under fucking 16s team against Borough, then there's no reason why we can't go on and get to the final and win this again. Which is where we should be. We should be winning trophies. We're the fucking Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly right. We got Middlesbrough in the next round, and as all of us know, and many of you know, they beat Man City in the last round, and they played very, very well. We got a home tie against them. Danny, is it important to be at home in the FA Cup?
Not for us, it isn't, because we're brilliant. And Middlesbrough, they will easily sacrifice this game if it means them getting promotion, because they've got, I can never, the Spanish bloke, Caranca or something like that.
Aitor Caranca.
Hey, bless you. So they're looking odds on to do at least the playoffs in the Championship, so they'll want to concentrate on going up. And of all there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 ties. 3 of those ties are all Premiership ties, and then you've got other ones there's no teams there that would give us any trouble apart from maybe Man United at their place and maybe Liverpool at their place. That's it. Every other team there, possibly West Ham at their place, but we pushed them over quite easy. So I think we're odds on to at least get to the semi-final, and if we get to the final, plus when they come to our place, they shit their pants. Because they know, see Sanchez on the starting sheet, and they go, oh fuck, we're away to Arsenal and Sanchez is playing. They've got Ozil back in form. You've got Theo, who scored 8 goals in 4 games, because that's what he'll do. I know it's not FIFA, Jeff, if you're listening. But yeah, I think we could easily win this, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sheffield United knock Man United out if they get through.
And did I see in the text box down the right-hand side that you had a little bit of injury news on Alexis Sanchez?
Yeah, I was reading a little, because one of the questions was, isn't it typical that we've let 3 players go out, strikers go out on loan, we've sold another one, and then Alexis gets a knock? And then I thought, I don't remember reading about that. So I've been and had a look, and I had a look at Arsblog's site, and he says that he's got a slight hamstring knock. I don't know how they describe it in any more detail than a knock, because they're not giving out too much info.
A strain, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that he's got a late fitness test for Villa. Well, the fact that he's having a fitness test means it's nothing major, so maybe he might get a rest against Villa, because Villa, anybody can beat Villa. Villa couldn't even beat themselves.
The thing is, he might have just felt it tighten up, and in terms they're going to take him in careful. I
hope he's on holiday somewhere. Seriously, I really do. I mean, they should have just shipped him off for 4 or 5 days. Do you know what I mean? go and get some sun somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Chill out, relax.
Off to the
and then
valleys.
Yeah, well, anywhere but there. Do you know what I mean?
You wouldn't
Right,
want to
right,
come
right.
over.
But
Not
do
unless
you
it's
know
like
what I mean? I
Sam-
mean, I mean, like they're saying that he wants to play every game and he doesn't want to get rested and this, that, and the other. And a lot of players are like that. That they want to play. It's what it's what they live for. It's what they get paid for. It's what they've wanted to do since they're kids. But like I say, sometimes players have to be safe from themselves. And like I say, the good work that he done, the beginning of the season,
Carrying
and
the entire team for half a season.
oh yeah, according to the fucking press, our one man team, even though we've got more players that scored than any other team in the Premiership, more individual goals from individual players, whatever. But yeah, no, he should have be out somewhere chilling out. Do you know what I mean? Doing a bit of fitness during the day, getting a bit of warm weather training, something like that. That's where he should be at the moment. I mean, we'll do Villa without him. I mean, we'd do Villa with fucking Danny up front.
All
Easy,
depends who's
Tiger.
refereeing, isn't it? If it's that twat Taylor again.
Oh God, don't remind me of that prick.
Oh, sick God. I tell you what, okay, if ever we should have had a public hanging after him a game, it was him.
Oh no, I'm trying to think the game. The worst fucking ref game. I think it's the fucking game that Alan fucking Shearer scored his only goal at Highbury. That fucking game. I think we had 2 players sent off.
Was that the one where he made out that Tony Adams had elbowed him when he hadn't gone near him?
Yeah. And I had the stinking flu, and I think it was the night of my Christmas party, so I'd been obviously had a few. And I was sitting outside on the corner of the North Bank, and the fucking snow and sleet are hitting me on the fucking head. And then that prick of a ref sends 2 players off and gives that fucking prick a penalty. I always remember that. I can't even remember who the ref was that day. I think he's probably head fucking ref now.
Graham Poll, probably, something like that.
Yeah, someone fucking poxy like that. Anyway,
Right then.
sorry, carry on.
That's all right. We'll move on from that game then. And as always, in the month of January, we talk about transfers. And this week, Mr. Wenger has served us up a defender from Villarreal. Gav, can I get your thoughts on the Gabriel signing?
Well, firstly, obviously, it was a signing that should have been done in July.
So it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
It is, to be fair. It is.
I mean, it is. I mean, like I say, it was. Everybody knew. Look, we was a couple of defenders short, and then we lose Sagna to go and sit on his fucking arse up in fucking Manchester doing fuck all, and then we loan out Jenkinson, and then we're not going to get rid of Vermaelen until we bought a replacement, and then we get rid of Vermaelen, which obviously, I mean, it's come to be a good decision because he's just sat on his arse in Barcelona.
He's been
Injured, long-term injury.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't really fault Wenger for shipping 2 of the 3 out. Really, I mean, Jenkinson going on loan, maybe as a player he had to do that, but obviously with hindsight that was a bad decision. Obviously due to the unfortunateness of the Debussy injury, but everyone and their dog last summer knew that we was at least 1 centre back short, possibly 2, and that's been the case, and that's why we're sitting 5th or whatever in the league, and that's why we're too many points behind Chelsea to seriously put in a challenge to win the title this year, which is wrong because we should have been pushing on after we'd won the FA Cup, and it was almost like we went 1 step forward and then we went 2 steps back again. So I mean, this new fella that we've got, I'm not going to pretend I've even fucking heard of him before he signed for us and before all the all the speculation about him, because I only watch Arsenal. I tend to, even if it's match of the day or whatever, I'll watch the Arsenal game, then I'll turn it off. So my my expertise on other players isn't the fucking greatest, but
No.
he's been part of a defensive unit in Spain that has done very, very well. They didn't want him to go. He's very well thought of by the fans out there and by the club out there and by the other players out there. And really, that should tell you something. I'm hoping he's going to come in and hit the ground pretty much running. Really, he looks in shape. He looks a bit of a monster. He looks like he can handle himself. But like I say, there's always the issue with players coming into the Premiership and getting used to it. And as a centre back, you don't get that privilege. You've really got to come in and hit the ground running. So, like I say, we'll see. It's the reinforcement that we needed, but the jury's out on whether or not it's going to be he's the right man.
Exactly. Which is very much going to be my next question for Kate. I think nobody can
Sorry.
argue. No, that's all right. Nobody can argue that it was the right position to strengthen in, but there's very much a lot of questions over whether it was the right man. Kate, do you think that Gabriel can do a decent job for us?
Like Gav, I have no idea. I've never seen him play. I don't really know anything about him. I don't have time to sit down and watch other football other than Arsenal highlights. Work too much. But no, if he can come in, did I read somewhere that he's going to be fast tracked into the squad for Villa?
I did, yes.
I'm not necessarily sure that's the right decision, but he's the manager. We can't argue with him, can we? We don't like what he does.
Gav can.
Well, no, but we don't like what he does, but we can't go out there and tell him what players to play and everything, can we? Because he's not going to listen to us anyway.
He don't listen to anybody, does he?
No.
Well, he's the manager. He gets paid to do it. Behave yourselves.
Yeah. Okay, Jace, seeing as you piped up, leading on from Kate, what part can we see him playing in the next few months for Arsenal?
I don't know. It all depends how quickly he settles in. Again, I don't watch Spanish football. I got a life. I couldn't give a monkeys. But apparently the guy's got all the attributes, okay? He's quick. He's strong. He's from Brazil, so he should be able to play the game. Let's hope he hits the ground running. He comes in, he starts to challenge Cos and Mertesacker for a place. And, he provides us cover on the flanks when we need that cover. But apparently, from what I've read and from what people have told me, he's got all the attributes. Now, if you've got the attributes, you should be able to do it. And, he's coming into a very healthy squad. They all get on. They all enjoy playing together. So, hopefully he settles in nicely.
Mm. And Danny, some say that 13 million, because it's around that price, depending on who you believe. Some have said that he's coming in for about 15, others saying that he's coming in for about 11.2 million. So I say 13 as an average. But do we think that's expensive for someone who's not played international football at any level?
I think the Tuesday Club made a very good point that there are currently about 700 or 800 Brazilian players playing in Europe. And they often don't like to, unless you're a big star, you don't really get many games. But there again, you get players like Edu, who went from nowhere. As soon as he came to Arsenal, he ended up getting about 25 caps in 2 years, and then didn't really play for much after that. So I don't think you can really judge him by his caps for Brazil, because they don't like defenders in Brazil, do they? Even the fullbacks don't do defending. You look at not Andre Santos. Yeah, even Andre Santos was never a fullback. Who's the Roberto Carlos? People think one of the greatest left backs in the world. You know, compared to a normal left back, he wasn't a left back. So people don't care about defenders in Brazil. And so I think the fee's about 11.3 million, but it changes every day. Plus we got some money off of them. Got it cheaper because we let them have Joel Campbell. I've read anywhere between £1 and £3 million pound they've paid for a half-season loan, which is a little bit much. Usually it's about £1 million per season.
I heard it was 700,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right for half a season. But people just make the numbers up if they don't know. It's all hits and clicks and shits. I think he's a decent player. I mean, he's said on Wiki that in the 19 games he played for Villarreal in this season, they conceded 19 goals. And when you're playing in a league where you've got Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar and Suarez scoring a goal a game, I don't know how he did against those two. I should have gone and looked that up when playing against them teams. But most teams in that league concede shitloads of goals. So I think he's a good player. He's going to be a kind of Gallas, a kind of Campbell, a kind of Kolo Touré player, where he's 6'1", he's quick, and he can cover at left back, right. Someone told me this in a tweet. He covers at left back, right back, and centre back. So there you go. So I think he's going to be a half decent signing, and I think he will play if he on the bench or start against Villa.
No, probably start left wing.
Oh God, he can't help himself, can he?
But Gav, obviously we've signed him. Say 11.3 million is a lot of money to have a player sat on the bench. Who do you think he's going to come in and replace? Do you think he's Mertesacker's replacement?
I've no idea. I mean, it's hard to talk about you're paying £11 million for a player who's going to be the backup. and you're paying him X amount in wages or whatever, and he's just going to be the backup player. That's a very hard sort of way of looking at it, really. And again, it's down to him to prove that he's worthy of starting a place, and it's down to the current two centre backs to prove they're doing a good enough job not to get dropped. So it is as simple as that, really. It's they've got to play themselves, and that's what having competition for places is all about. Players don't get complacent knowing that they're going to get picked every bloody game.
No.
So it's just a good thing in that. I mean, like I say, I've no idea. Like I say, I've never seen him play. I don't think you've probably never seen him play live or whatever. So it's just the fact that we've got somebody, and that was the whole point of it. I mean, in the ideal world, we'd get someone else as well in at centre back, but I can't see that happening really now. But it's just the case that we've got another body and another specialist in the centre back position.
Yeah. And Kate, can you see anybody else coming in this transfer window, or do you think that is us very much done?
I think he'll get one more, but it won't be until deadline day, because we all know his track record. He leaves it right to the last minute, and then we're all sat there at 11:10 thinking, have we signed him? Have we got through? Did it go in time? And that's just his record for the last however many years now. But I do think we will get at least one more, possibly a DM that we're asking for.
So
Hopefully.
You think Morgan Schneiderlin, could we see Morgan Schneiderlin move on the last day? Because the news reports coming out at the moment are that Southampton are looking at Jordi Clasie this window to replace.
I'd like to see Schneiderlin. I think he'd fit in well, and he'd pair up well with Chambers. Obviously, they've played together.
Did
and
you
I
hear
think
that groaning noise from Australia when you said those words? Say it again, Kate.
Morgan Schneiderlin.
There you go again. Did everyone hear that? There's groans coming from...
That's Dom stroking his timber.
Dom loves the Schneiderlin.
He certainly does.
I think he'd be a good addition to the team, and if we can get him, then definitely.
And Jace, pretty much the same for you. Can you see anybody else coming in? Jace?
I think you could be on mute again.
Sorry, am I there?
You are?
Am I back?
We're doing counting sheep.
Just knock once, feed twice.
To be fair, it's been a long day, Gav. It's been a long day.
It was going too well, really.
It was, it's like at the beginning, I couldn't even remember who scored against Brighton. Just lost my mind. Who knows with Arsene Wenger? You know what he's like. We could have another Kim Kallstrom loan signing. If it stiffens up the defensive midfield position or the back four, great. If we could go out and get Morgan Schneiderlin, I know they said there's 20 million available this window, but we know there's money there if they get the right man for the right price. I think if you bring Schneiderlin in this window, we got a real crack at Champions League. I think you got a real crack at it, because I think you've solidified that area where we are slightly weak, which in all fairness, he should have solidified in the summer. But again, United should have solidified that area in the summer as well. They didn't. There has been an issue with players' availability and what have you. But if they're available, he should not mess about. He should go out and get them. If there's a chance that Morgan Schneiderlin's available for 25 or 30 million pound, he should go balls out and get him.
The problem in there, Jace, really is the fact that if we bought him, obviously we weaken Southampton.
Yeah.
If we end up one place above Southampton, we finish fourth, they finish fifth, or whatever, and us weakening them stops them from getting Champions League. Champions League TV money is 30 million on its jacks anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any way in the world that transfer is going to happen now. I know from,
unlikely, mate.
Like I say, I know from someone that I spoke to last summer that Wenger really wanted him in the summer. He was basically one of the top targets that they put in that they was trying to get.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of dithering and a bit of delaying, mainly by us, and a little bit of things over the money. And by the time we sort of really got serious and put a decent offer on the table, Koeman put his foot down and said, "That's it. We're not selling any more. We've sold too many players."
Let's be honest.
And that's the problem. We left it too late in the summer, and I don't think, as much as I would love it to happen, I don't think there's any way in the world that deal can happen
Let's be honest.
In this transfer window, because Southampton have got nothing to gain whatsoever by selling him, unless it's for apps. We'd have to come in with 35, 40 million pounds for him.
But is that worth it to us long term? Because again, if you can put that real Champions League run together, and again a second place finish in the Premier League or whatever, and I still, as much as Chelsea are ahead of us in the Premier League, it's not over until it's mathematically impossible. In my eyes, you've still got to play as if you want to win the league, okay? And that's how we need to attack the rest of the season.
We don't know.
Well, we've started to recently. Come on, we're on a good round now. Let's
let's not turn things downwards or anything.
Yeah.
But the league's gone, mate. The league's gone. Chelsea are not going to lose 4 more games than us between now and May.
Hey, they pick up an injury. Costa gets banned. Who knows? Okay,
Matic.
They're not going to lose 4 out of 18 games.
Apparently, they weren't going to lose a game this season.
Yeah,
But, Bradford smashed 4 past them. Tottenham smashed 5 past them. Who knows what's going to happen? Okay, but for me, we made mistakes in the summer. No ifs or buts. We've made the mistakes. I think he's learned from it because, he's not messed about with this Gabriel business. He's got his man, okay? However, Gabriel is going to come into the squad and perform. That's, nobody's got a crystal ball. We couldn't see the Debussy injuries happening the way they've happened. We've got the coverage there. Bellerin and Chambers can do a job. But if you go out and if there's a sniff that Morgan Schneiderlin's available, you've got to go and get him, in my opinion.
Like I say, I don't think there's a case of Southampton are waving the flags out saying, come and get him, come and get him. We've got to have to actually go in with an offer, which makes it financially worth their while to sell him to us.
Well,
the offer if they was mid-table at the moment and no danger of getting relegated, but no real danger of getting in the UEFA Cup or whatever, then 25 million is a good deal to them. Okay. When they're chasing for a Champions League spot, 25 million is fuck all because you're looking at basically just the group stages of the Champions League. You could be looking at 30 million pound.
So in your opinion, Gav, a question. In your opinion, how much would you pay for Schneiderlin?
I think it's best. I think in the summer he'll cause such a stink that we'll get him for a lot cheaper.
Oh, I
know we can afford the money, but anything more, if we're talking about giving him an offer now, we shouldn't really be offering more than 28, 30 million for him, right? And that is not worth Southampton's while because they can wait till the summer. If they get 4th, they're 30 million pound better off because they've kept one of their best players. Plus, they sell them to us for 20 million. They're 50 million pound better off.
Yeah, but from an Arsenal perspective now, if I'm Arsene Wenger and I'm looking at this season now, okay, we got Monaco next round, Champions League, right?
Which is winnable.
Yeah, which is very winnable. We've got Middlesbrough next in the FA Cup, okay, and a lot of the big teams out. We've got a chance now, on 2 fronts of putting a serious challenge in on the biggest competition next to the Premier League and the FA Cup, okay? If we go in with 35 million quid, that's 35 million quid guaranteed. 4th place for Southampton is not guaranteed. I think that's pretty decent value for money for a player who's been one of the stars of the Premier League so far this season.
Yeah.
And we won it anyway. And, if we can get to the Champions League final, or, put a push in for that, the revenue we get back from that more than covers that £10 million disparity in the sort of valuation he's got.
After the Monaco game, you're looking at I think it's around about £4 or £5 million a game.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 4 or 5 million. You're looking at double that for the tie.
For me, if I'm Arsene Wenger,
no, I do get your point, and I would love us to have the balls to put, but the problem is we've really Southampton do not want to sell him. They didn't want to sell him at the end of the summer. They're not going to want to sell him now. They've really, really got to go in with an offer that Southampton just literally can't refuse.
But we've solidified the defence now. We've got somebody in. It's time to rock out with the cocks out. Really go for him. Really have a pop at this, because it's just this.
I don't think we'll do it, Jace. Like I say, from what I heard, the player wanted to come to us in the summer. So, his head was well and truly turned, and the only thing that fucked it up was us, delaying with the fees and blah blah blah, and they got the ump and said, right, that's it, no one's for sale anymore.
Didn't he even put out a tweet saying something like, well, basically, you stopped me. I wanted to go. It was all set to leave, and now you've stopped it. I don't want to play for Southampton. Basically, he said that he wanted to leave, but the club had stopped him.
And like I say, and unfortunately, once, when you've got a player in that position, and when the player's head's turned like that, because let's be honest, going from Southampton to Arsenal, it's a big step up. No disrespect to Southampton, My one family member who goes football on a regular basis is a season ticket holder down there, and I don't think he's missed a game home and away in about 3 or 4 years. But it is a big step up coming to the Arsenal, and it'll be a big step up for the player as well. Yeah. But like I say, I think that it's very likely that will come off in the summer. I do honestly think that I can't see us doing anything with that whatsoever in this transfer window.
But let's be honest, guys. If we can solidify, even if you get a decent loan signing at the moment, Coughlin's done well. To be fair, he's taken his opportunity, both hands. Is he the answer? Who knows?
Both feet.
Right, we'll move on from that, and I know Danny's got some Champions League ineligibility talk on Gabriel as well, and there's still a little bit of talk about Arteta being offered a new 1-year deal, so we'll talk about that. There is also, to go back slightly on what you were just talking about, the opportunity of maybe bringing in a cut price player in January, to maybe just strengthen the squad till then, and the name of that player that's been bandied around has been Kevin Grosskreutz at Dortmund. Danny, do you know about Grosskreutz?
Bless you. No, I've never heard of him. At Dortmund?
Yes.
It can't be that brilliant, because Dortmund is the German team I support.
You must know it.
Oh, yeah, you know Grosskreutz. Isn't he I thought he played left back or right back.
He can play in numerous positions.
Is it one of them funny spelt names I wouldn't recognise unless I saw him?
Grosskreutz.
He's a tidy player.
No, I could pretend I know him, but I don't. I've not seen him play for a while.
His contract's basically coming up for being renewed, and he's looking like he's apparently a boyhood Arsenal fan. I know they say that about all of them. But apparently the fee being touted is one of around 3.7 million.
What position? Fullback?
Left back, right back, central defensive midfield. You can play numerous positions.
Can he cook?
Probably.
Well, I'll have him then. Schnitzels all round.
Okay then, your little bit on Gabriel.
Yeah, I was reading the Jeremy Wilson blog at the Telegraph. Everyone should read his. This is all right. Steady on. Nice one, Gav.
Sorry, shit. I thought you was on mute. I picked up my headphones. I know it sounded like I was loading a shotgun or something.
I only said Jeremy Wilson. I think we like Jeremy Wilson, didn't we?
No, it's just Neil Ashton we have a problem with.
Oh, I don't know, because I think he was genius in what he did, but never mind.
He's a cock.
How dare you? Don't be so rude. Right, so he's been in the Telegraph, which was the 29th of January, which was when? Is it today?
Today.
Yeah. I thought I read it earlier. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought it's February already. I don't know why I think it's February. He was saying that he says in his bit that in the absence of Matthew Debuchy, there is also a possibility of him replacing Hector Bellerin at right back, and then more significantly later on, he says Gabriel is also available for Champions League and will also be in Arsenal's squad for the knockout phase of the tournament. I think that's because we're at the phase now where if you finish third in the Champions League group, you then play in the UEFA Cup. I refuse to call it that other thing. So then you play in the UEFA Cup, and then also anyone who's played in the UEFA Cup, you can then re-register them to play in the Champions League, which is what happens then, because I think both can swap from one to the other. So yeah, he's people have been asking, is he eligible for the Champions League, and he is.
Fantastic. And I feel just before we do move on, we should talk about Joel Campbell going to Villarreal as part of the Gabriel deal on loan. Is this good business for us? I should mention that he signed a contract before he left. Now, is this in business terms where he goes to Villarreal, he has a good spell, and we flog him on? Or
Yes.
is this, basically?
Yeah, I think he's been here and thereabouts and waiting for a work permit, and Wenger's had a look at him, and I don't think he's too cut out for English football, really. I'd love to be proved wrong, but like I say, I think the only reason that he signed a new contract, obviously we've upped his wages a little bit, he said that we can get more of a fee off him. Because if he goes to Spain, I think he had 6 months left on his current deal, Danny, am I correct?
I don't know how long.
You are. It was 6
I am,
months.
yeah.
They've moved him from squad to loans out, so it doesn't say when his contract expires.
Yeah, like I say, I think his contract was up at the end of the year anyway. So I think it's a sign him a new deal, which probably is only another year extension. See how he does out there. If he does well, coin him in and cash in on him, really.
Well, in the next round of the UEFA Cup, because Villarreal finished second to Borussia Mönchengladbach a week, and so they've got through to the next round, and they're playing Red Bull Salzburg, the Austrian team, that are rubbish. So they're almost guaranteed to get through to the last 16, unless Red Bull go and spunk a load of money on Toblerone.
They are awful. Drew this week 3-3. I had a bet on them, and they were 3-1 up, and I was kissing my phone until they fucked it up in the 87th minute. Lovely stuff. Right. As always, we ask for questions over Twitter and Facebook, and you never let us down. So, Danny, Jason, you've got the Twitter and the Facebook questions, so let's have them.
Okay, who wants to go first? Dan, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Ladies first.
Twat. This one actually is from Akib, and that's at AAQIB _ALYAS. That's Akib.
Kate,
friend of the show.
Kate's got to do it. Come on.
Akib.
Lovely stuff.
Go on, Gav. I want to hear Gav.
Gav was there during the Assi days, weren't you, Gav?
Yeah.
Bringing back flashbacks. I bet you're counting your big boxes, your little boxes, and your cardboard fish right now.
Bloody hell.
Do you think we should shoot more, Gav?
I think... if that's his question, I'm fucking going.
No. Good old Akib, and we love Akib. Well done, nice.
Yes, love it.
Where do Jack and Ozil fit into the team, especially Jack? Where do you see them fitting into the team? And I'll tell you what, we're going to go straight to Gav with that.
Jack at the moment is on the bench, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd go with that.
It's a short answer, but like I say, I think he's really where he should have. He's been unlucky with injuries and blah blah blah. But how many more chances? Do you know what I mean? To make a serious impression, can he have? And unfortunately, with the fella coming back from loan, he's just slipping down the pecking order. Really, the problem with Jack really is he's not making one position his own. He's not making that one position on the pitch his and making him undroppable from that position. So yeah, as it stands at the moment, he's on the bench and Ozil straight down the middle, number 10.
Cool. Kate?
I agree. You can't doubt that he's got passion, but sometimes that passion gets a bit, I don't know, maybe a bit muddled in his head, and he gets a bit hot-headed. But yeah, on the bench, I don't think he's starting at the moment. We've got, like I said earlier, too many decent midfielders to drop one of them at the moment to bring him in.
Okay, and what about Ozil?
Ozil straight down the middle.
Cool.
He's got to play down the middle.
Nice. Danny?
I think Jack can kiss my ass because as much as I love him, I'm getting fed up of every time he plays worrying, oh God, they've broken both of his legs. He needs to stop diving around, stop thinking that he's Pele because he wears the number 10, stop being so greedy with the ball and playing central midfield. And then realise, if I get rid of the ball a little bit quicker, I'm not going to get injured. So for me, like Gav, he's on the bench. Ozil, number 10.
Cool. And Gim?
Yeah, Wilshere, again, like Kate said, nobody can deny the fella's passion, but you're always stood there looking at him going, just please don't do anything stupid. You know, i.e. Fellaini, when we played Man United, he's in a way, he's like a ticking time bomb. I think he's within any doubt, he's good enough to play. But at the moment, he doesn't get in the team. He's got to up his game. And he's really got to show his worth. That be, go on.
Yeah. Can I ask everyone this? The way he played for England, where he's just literally he's sitting in front of the back four, and he's getting the ball and chucking it forwards from there. Can anyone see that working at a domestic level?
Yes, that's what I've been saying all fucking season. That's where he needs to play. Because when they play Ramsey and Wilshere at the same time, it's Wilshere that gets forward. No, don't do that. No, Ramsey's the one that gets forward with his Welsh skills, Jace?
Absolutely. But the thing about Jack is he drives that ball really well. He can push play up, can't he? You know, and the way he drives with the ball, you know, he puts pressure on teams. And, you know, he's such a talented player. He could, you know, you just want him to fulfil his potential with the Arsenal.
Would you want him to see him picking the ball up sort of deeper then, Jace?
Yeah.
Like him literally him nicking the ball off the centre backs and him driving from there.
I think the Arteta role, the way the roles Arteta's played this season, I think he's perfect for it because I think, you know, he's got great vision. His passing is immaculate. I just don't think. Yeah, I think he just needs to focus and put less pressure on himself. Just enjoy his football, because you see the way when he drives the teams, he can panic players, and if he's running at a midfield, any midfield, they're gonna panic. He's such a good top quality player when his head's in the right place, but he needs to get his focus. He needs to stop going over the top, and he just needs to relax and enjoy his football, in my opinion.
Yep, very good.
Yeah.
Next question.
Danny, to you or me?
Okay, I'll do one. Right, we are breaking podcast new ground here, which others will no doubt start copying any day now. Our friend Tom Rev in Poland from Skype. I've got him on our Skype. He was one of the ones, like when we first met you, Jace, he did the Merry Christmas thing. And so he sent me a question over Skype. I've asked Gimli to give it the yay or the nay, and he said, yes, you can ask. Would you guys agree that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain looks like a Ninja Turtle?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Go on, Kate, why?
He's got that, you know, when he smiles, he's got his little cheeks puff out, and the turtles do that. We've got turtles; they do actually do that. So
Do they eat pizza?
ours don't. No, they eat chicken, but
I've
not
not
pizza.
seen it. So
What about chicken pizza?
Probably if you gave it to him.
I'm eating the chicken pizza.
can we have turtle pizza?
He did that in the Arsenal campaign, in the Arsenal ad campaign, where they were talking about gay footballers and so forth, and they wear the pink laces, didn't he? And he actually said, "I can't help it that I look like a teenage mutant ninja turtle."
Oh, bless.
He's got that wide mouth, and he's got those rosy cheeks. He does, doesn't he? He's great.
And his belly as well, because he's well built. And like I said, like Kate said, we've got turtles, and one of them does look like Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Oh.
Heroes in a half shell.
Breaking transfer news. The child just made me hot chocolate with marshmallows. Read it on Sky Sports News.
Don't put the tissue box on top of it, Danny.
Yeah, I'm keeping the tissue box well away from it.
And make sure you wash your hands.
I'd keep
Is
the
it
tissues
snowing?
away from it as well.
Oh, it's also snowing.
Oh my god.
Hello, Sean.
Jason says hello.
Right, there's no time for niceties.
Yes, get the fuck on with it. Jace, you're next.
Okay. From Gaz has it's been asked before, but should we expect another signing, or is Palista or Gabriel? Because some people get annoyed at that, like Danny and Bielik.
No, I think we might get one more on deadline day, and they'll probably start working on the deal about 9:10.
Danny.
Yes, I think we do need more, definitely, and we need to shoot more.
Definitely.
Gav.
Yeah, if you shoot more, you might score more.
Will we get more players?
I think we're either gonna. I think it's gonna go one way or the other. We're either gonna get a loan deal for the end of the season, to sort of with a bit of strength in the middle, or we're gonna get the player we need for the next 3 or 4 years down the middle. So I think it's either going to be a world-class signing or someone that everyone looks at each other and says, who's he? And then everyone on Twitter pretends they've been watching him for 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, the hipsters. Kate?
Like I said, I think we'll get one more, but it won't be right until the end. But yeah, Gav, they will be sitting there. But you do get it every time that we sign someone. I'm quite happy to admit when I've never seen a player play, but everyone does jump on the bandwagon of how good he is. And...
I'm not being funny. It's as if anybody cares what they say.
No, we had one on the podcast account this week, and I think Jeff Arsenal called Gabriel Raw on last week's podcast, and this old boy went, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but it did make me chuckle. No offence to you. He goes, I've been watching Gabriel since his days at Vittoria, and I said then he should be coming to Arsenal. Did you fuck? I'm sorry, but Jesus, what, 5 years ago, and you turned around and said he was Arsenal material? I'll pull your head out of your arse and smell the coffee.
Oh, hold up, Gim. Whoever that person is, bullshit. You're a twat and you're a liar. Okay, I've had a guts for bloody.
Mix your words, boys.
Oh, no, I've had a guts for this Twitter arty fucking experts. You know, I'm not being funny. We jump on here because we enjoy talking football. None of us pretend to be an expert, okay? We have a bit of a laugh. But somebody's hating on Flamini, somebody's having a pop at so-and-so. You know, some guy from I couldn't give a monkey's where is the new next big thing. Bullshit, you know. You can't watch a game of football and actually get a real idea in a player. You've got to go there and watch his movement off the ball. Scouts watch players for what? Half a dozen to a dozen games? You know, and they watch the movement off the ball.
I read today, right? Sorry to butt in, Jace. I read today on the this is the anniversary of the signing of Lee Dixon today, I believe.
From
Stoke.
Dicko, 1988.
Yeah.
Happy Lee Dixon Day, everybody.
Yay. I was actually at the game where Stoke came to Arsenal in the League Cup, and I think Stoke had Bold and Dixon playing for them, and then we signed the pair of them just after that.
The only two good things ever that came out of that
shit. Anyway, the point was that we had a scout watching Dixon, and obviously Bold, for half a season.
Yeah.
Every single game, half a season.
But that's the point, isn't it, Gav? You watch their movement off the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not watching the game.
It's even the difference between watching the game live, which can be hard when you're inebriated, and watching the game on the TV. You know, the TV don't show you the whole of the pitch. Exactly. It don't show you the positions, and it don't show you the fact that both wing backs are bombing up at the same time, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Match goers do get a different perspective on players than people that watch on the TV, even though the TV is very good apart from the commentators.
Yeah, but again, sorry, before you go on there, but again, it's that movement off the ball. You know, if you're cutting off a pass, or you know, you've got somebody in the back pocket, you're not going to see that on TV all the time. You just don't see it. You know, scouts get paid to do a job because they're worth it. But every twat on Twitter is an expert, and I'm sick of them. I just couldn't give them.
5 years ago, if anybody was impressed with Gabriel, I'd be amazed because he was playing for Vitória in the Brazilian First Division, and they got relegated. That was 2010. And I watched Brazilian football. Corinthians are my team, and they have been since we signed Silvinho from them all those years ago. So then 2011, he was in Serie B, and they did nothing. 2012, they finished fourth in Division 2. I say Serie B because they have Serie A and Serie B like Italy. So in 2012, they finished fourth in the second division and got promoted. So he had a relegation and nothing in Division 2, and then a fourth in Division 2, and he picked them out as world class, did they? And also a little bit on Kim Kallstrom, our lone hero from last season. 16 games, 2 goals, 2 assists so far for
who cares?
He play for
Spartak
Moscow.
He's smashing it over
Who gives
in
a fuck
Russia.
FC?
Old Jim Kallstrom.
Good luck to him, innit?
So you don't know, he might be coming over.
Before we go on to the next question, I will say that there's a little lad, 12-year-old, over in Australia in the Barramundi chuck another shrimp on the Barbie League that I've been watching for some time now. And when we sign him, I'm going to go onto Twitter and basically this is just me staking my claim now, saying that I've seen him and I know how good he is.
But you know, and his name's Cobber. You know, fuck it. Honestly, it drives me to distraction, guys. I'm never mind.
His mother's called Shirley.
He's
No,
related.
Sheila. Sheila, that's it.
He's related to Dom.
Yeah, that's it. Lives next door to him.
Okay, Danny, your question, mate.
This question is via email from Brian Johnson and also BRD Gunner on Twitter. They ask
Not
similar
the
questions.
Brian Johnson from ACDC.
I think it may well have been. He's a fan of the show. He wants to come on.
Lovely stuff.
He wants your job.
Why I man?
He says, what would be your first 11 if everybody was fit? And also, if Rosicky was African, he would still only be about 21. I think that our starting 11, the only ones we can have any disagreement about would be the goalkeeper. So would you all have Ospina or would you have Szczesny?
Ospina.
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 And the rest of the back four picks itself because you don't really have much choice at the moment.
No.
And then up front, well, it's got to be Giroud with Sanchez one side, Ozil in the hole, and then who would you play on the left hand side?
I'd play Sanchez on the left. I'd play Walcott on the right.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I agree with that. And then in midfield, who'd be the centre two?
Rambo,
Ramsey, and
Santi.
Santi.
But we've still got Welbeck as well, who I really don't think is going to get that much time when everyone's fully fit.
Back next week, I think, or the week after.
To be honest, with you guys,
Again, that's the problems that we should be having.
yeah,
We should be. I mean, we should have. I mean, Welbeck, he's a good player. He
Yeah,
tracks
top.
back. He does his job. Do you know what I mean, he's gonna. If it's a clear-cut chance, he's gonna score it. Do you know what I mean, he's one of these players. He's a good squad player. But do you know what I mean, he could be as influential to us as what Wiltord was.
Now you're back, Kate. What would be your starting 11 if everybody's fit?
I'd have a Ospina in goal, and at the back I'd have Cos, Mertz, probably Monreal and Gibbs. Can they play together?
no.
No.
No. Okay, then I'll have.
Well, one of
Hey.
them played right back this season, haven't they?
Oh,
But
Yeah.
Monreal did.
I'd go Bellerin and Monreal.
I was thinking Bellerin as well, but
I definitely Monreal above Gibbs because I think Monreal this season has been our unsung hero.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
midfield is a toughie. But Sanchez, Santi, Rambo, and Chamberlain, Ox, and I don't know. It's too tough. Don't ask.
It's a nightmare, isn't it? It's an absolute nightmare.
It's a
It
good
really is.
nightmare.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it's brilliant. It's so nice to see now. The squad has been building up nicely now. Shame we couldn't do it in the summer, but we're starting to build that pressure within the squad where performances will improve, hopefully.
But then again, let's see now, because a large problem of what Gav had was, let's see him earn his 8 million a year. Do you know what I mean? This is the time now when he has to go out and prove how good he is as a manager.
Yeah, but at the moment, guys, okay, right, he's had a hard time, right? It's been a difficult start of the season. We are where we are. We've just beaten City away. We're just looking like we're coming into a bit of form. Okay, Chelsea have just gone out of the FA Cup. Man City have just gone out of the FA Cup. We're in with a shout. Let's get behind the me and Gav had this conversation on Twitter the other day. And, myself and Gav, we disagree on a lot of things, but we always agree on supporting the Arsenal.
Of course.
There's no point in sort of... We can moan and bitch about what's happened as much as we want. It's done. You can't turn back time.
Jace?
You just
Jace?
look and you go forward.
Jace?
We can't turn back
Breathe.
time since he started talking. Danny, let's have the next question.
It's Jace for the next question, but I've just been looking up the stats and I've got my calculator out and I've figured out, I've had to do a bit of trigonometry here, that Gabriel only needs one goal to have the same number of goals as Sanogo. Over to you, Jason, the next question.
I love that. Right, okay. There's a couple I can't ask there that are about me.
Oh, look at you getting
Did you-
fancy.
I know.
for fuck's sake.
Did you get yourself checked out?
That was my text, that one was. Sorry. Okay, Frederick Donnell, friend of the podcast. Lots of ramblings about the 3% increase last season on ticket prices, but no credit when the club freezes ticket prices. Gav probably has an opinion on that.
I could do you a whole hour.
Bear with me a second. I'm going to come into you on this now first. Is freezing the price enough, or will people only be satisfied when it's decreased? As well as that, he wants thoughts on Arteta's contract extension. Gav, Go nuts.
Well, if we do the easy one first, I don't think it really matters whether Arteta's here or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't bother me if they just let him go on a free at the end of the summer. I don't think he contributes that much anymore, to be honest with you. We've got better players than him. He wouldn't get in our first 11 if everybody was fit.
But he has been better this season than he was last season when he's been fit. But he's at the knee, isn't he?
Yeah, like I say, I don't really like him when he's fit, to be honest with you. And with regards to the thing is the 3% increase on ticket prices last year worked out to be approximately £3 million, which was approximately the amount that Stan Kroenke voted to pay himself.
Yeah.
So if there's a freeze this year, then if he's not paying the £3 million to himself, then the club are £3 million better off. If he's paying the £3 million to himself again, then again that's wrong. Things are slightly cheaper now than they were this time last year. I mean, the petrol prices have fallen through the roof. Heating, electric bills are falling as well. There's no excuse whatsoever to have the pricing structure and the prices that we've got at the moment. The only reason that they didn't increase it was because the team wasn't performing. If we was top of the league like we were last year, there would have been an increase. Now, they've only said that ticket prices aren't increasing. What they haven't said yet is how much the red membership will go up by, how much the silver membership will go up by, whether or not they'll put another 50p on top every time you book a ticket. So whether or not they're going to put another 50p on the price of programs. So, to say that prices haven't gone up is really just catering to the 40,000 season ticket holders and not the 100,000 or how many it is silver and red members there are around the country and around the world. So I'm not impressed. To say that we're freezing the prices when it's already the highest ticket prices in the world don't really fucking mean jack shit to me, really. There's still a hell of a lot of people that are getting priced out the game. I mean, I go with a fella and he'll go into the pub and watch the game in the pub because he's paying for his kids to go in the ground and he can't, he can't pay for everybody. So he misses out and he makes sure his kids go in the game. And there's still a lot of that going on. There's, you walk around the back streets or go in the estates on match day, you'll see loads of kids wearing Arsenal shirts playing football who would love to be in the ground, who can't afford to go. The whole ticketing thing, it's just, as I said before, I could probably talk an hour for it. Even things like offering a season ticket without cup credits on there would be helpful to some people, especially to new season ticket holders and younger season ticket holders. Making it easy and indeed cheaper to actually transfer your ticket if you can't make a game would be better. To make it cheaper for the young kids on this £10 to sit wherever they like, not just in a section where they're heavily stewarded, would be better. Like I say, I could go on for ages, to be fair. To make use of the empty seats every game, because as I know it's Tim Payton's and the AST's favourite thing to mention about all the empty seats. Perhaps they should be donated to kids that are doing well in local schools. And at the last minute, if there's any seats, they can go and sit in the seats for free. A hell of a lot more can be done than just saying we're freezing the highest prices. And like I say, people like the AST and the lads at the BSM are trying to do something, but the problem with trying to do and get anything organised against ticket prices is inevitably a lot of people are very apathetic, especially when the team are doing well. If we weren't top of the league last year when the 3% increase was issued, there would have been a hell of a lot more fuss about it than there actually was. So the club timed it very, very well last year, and the problem is we've got a lot of people that would pay more than they're actually paying to watch Arsenal, and it's like I say, unfortunately in my lifetime I've seen it go from a family club to a business, and I can't see much of a way back really, unfortunately. But like I say, they'll suffer for it in the long run, unfortunately.
I suppose as well. People only get annoyed about it when it starts to affect them as well.
Well, exactly.
And that's a bit of the problem. And people, there is the issue, I suppose, between wanting to compete as a modern club, because all clubs are businesses nowadays.
Well,
But
that's the problem, Jace. I mean,
there has to be a happy medium, though, doesn't it, Gav? There has to be.
Yeah, no, of course. The problem is, unfortunately, is that the club's finances that was issued last year and the last ones, I think the club got about approximately 300 million in, and it was 100 million from tickets, 100 million from corporate stuff, and 100 million from the TV. Now, it shouldn't be that the fans are carrying a third of the burden, because they don't at any other top club. We're the only club that has got that much ticket revenue compared to the proportion of everything else. And you could look at Chelsea and Man City are getting more corporate money in than us.
No.
Now, like I say, really, it should be down to the corporate department. If the club and Stan Kroenke wants more money, it should be down to the corporate department to earn that money. And like I say, they haven't been up to their job, and they're not up to the job. I mean, our corporates and our corporate money is absolutely appalling compared to the other top clubs in Europe.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Does anybody else want to come in on that?
I haven't, but I've got a question specially prepared for Gav.
Go.
Oh, go
on. Gav, this one's just for you. What do you think of the furore on Twitter when George said... Furore on Twitter.
Hey, tell him how to say it properly.
I tried that earlier and he didn't listen,
Hit
so
him.
I give up. Well, he's upstairs and I'm downstairs.
All right.
Set some dogs
what
on
do
him.
you think of the fuss on Twitter when George said he wanted Spurs to win the League Cup?
Well, I mean, firstly, it's typical of a Tottenham supporter to say that.
Yeah.
But it's just a bit of a cunty thing to say, really. I just don't understand it, because I can't think of anything worse than Tottenham winning anything. I don't like them winning the coin toss. I don't like them winning the throw-in. I don't like them winning fuck all. Yeah, it's weird that a lot of people who've grown up second, third, fourth, whatever, fifth generation Arsenal supporters or live local to the ground have sort of grown up. As much as you love Arsenal, you love seeing Tottenham lose. And it was always the first, it was always the first result that you looked for after a game. Obviously before, everybody could just check their phones throughout the game. But, as you're walking out, everybody was listening in to find out whether Tottenham had lost. And sometimes that'd be just a bigger cheer as it was when our game was over. So there's just, I just don't understand it. I mean, everyone's got the right to feel and to think how they do, but obviously people with no real emotional attachment to the club, and who haven't been a lot of Arsenal Tottenham games, are really not going to feel that way, are they? And they're not.
But Gav, I'm from Armandford. I'm from bloody Southwest Wales. Okay.
Are you Welsh, Jace?
I hate
Jesus
Tottenham.
fucking didn't know that.
I don't want them to win a fucking raffle.
What? Just a year, and he just mentioned it.
Why do some people don't get it, Jace? I don't understand why people don't get it.
Do you know, my nephew's dad's a Tottenham fan, okay? And when my nephew became an Arsenal fan after I brainwashed him, okay, he fucking hates me to this day over it. And we go, we have verbal blows every time with the football. There's pure, he's my mate, but there's pure hatred when it comes to the football. I can't stand him. I hope they get fucking humped every single time. I do not get why anybody would ever want them to win anything. They're scum.
But Jace, 2 minutes afterwards, he also sent another tweet saying that he didn't understand fan rivalry, and if you hated a set of supporters, then that is as bad as hating a race or a religion of people. So basically he's saying, if you hate Tottenham, you are a racist.
Let's get something straight, okay? When Wales play England at rugby or anything, I hate you all. I hate you all.
I laugh when you lose, and I live here.
Yeah, but not being funny. That's it. It's called, Jesus Christ, it's rivalry. It's what you do. Okay?
England flags on the car. The lot.
Yeah, not being funny. I'll burn your car for that.
I think another comment was, it's the same old people, all them wobs.
I would, yeah,
all them wobs that hate Tottenham.
Let's be honest, okay? Would you describe...
You're wob now, mate.
I somehow I don't think so, you know.
No.
But you and I will argue about Arsene Wenger all day. You know, we don't swear at each other. We're not nasty to each other. You know, you may not agree, but that's just the way of the world. You know, you're not going to agree with everybody every time, but to call somebody a racist for that sort of thing is utter bollocks. And I'm sorry, okay, but the guy's talking out of his arse.
But wasn't this the same guy that said last year something like, if Arsene Wenger was sacked, I'd find it hard to support Arsenal?
Yeah, and someone saved the tweet, and I've got it.
Yeah, and I know who it was. It was Yorkshire Gooner, our friend Andy. So a big hello to Andy.
It's just a knobbish thing to say.
The problem is, and like I say, he's won by us even talking about him. He just thrives on creating arguments amongst other Arsenal supporters, and he thrives on trying to differentiate people and split people and label people. And really, I mean, even though, like I say, this, you know, I kind of had a feeling that this question might come up because obviously it was big on Twitter last night. Just by even speaking about the fucking no mark gives him the air of publicity that he's after. You know, I don't follow him, and you know, I can't understand why anybody else would really, because he just talks bollocks.
I don't know the guy. He might be a perfectly nice bloke.
He's not. He's a prick.
Look, you know, I'm not being funny. I've never met the guy. It's not for me to say, but you know, I couldn't care less what his thoughts are and stuff like that, because, you know, whenever you're in a sporting rivalry with anyone, you hate them when you play them. You know, they're your workmates Monday to Friday. Nobody gives a damn, do they? You know, but when that game's on, when Tottenham are playing, I want them to get... You know, my dream relegation battle is Tottenham, Chelsea, United and Liverpool vying for three places.
That's
the
actually
dream.
A season where 3 of those went down in the same season, Jace. I've got the screen prints. I'll save them for you.
Send them to me as a screensaver.
Gim, is Yorkshire... Yorkshire, what's your name you just said?
Andy.
Yeah, is he writing a book?
I don't know.
Why am I trying to think that he is? I know Dave Seeger wrote a brilliant one.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Dave Seeger, book review available on a Bergkamp Wonderland.
Fantastic book review, and go and buy the books, now officially for sale through the club shop.
I'll end the Blackburn George stuff by citing a tweet that someone sent to me last night. It went along the lines of, obviously, by looking at Blackburn George's tweets, we can tell that he's now gone full retard.
Before you draw a line under this one, Gim, just want to mention a couple of little things. Tim Hardwick, one of the Hardwick brothers, don't mess with them. They're like the Mitchell brothers, but with more hair.
Like the Crates.
That's it. He did send a tweet in saying, if someone lives in, say, Blackburn and wants Spurs to win a trophy, does that help with the argument that Arsenal means more to local fans? What do you think to that, Kate?
No, I don't think it actually matters where you come from, how much you support team. I just think he's a twat.
Well, there you go. That's summed that up. And
that is true, though, because he makes, let's be honest, right? I started supporting Arsenal from when I lived in Oxford. I've moved down here. And he gives fans that live far away from the ground a bad name.
Okay, next question. Okay.
And also, Tell the Gooner, our friend of ours, says, what do you think of Arsenal fans who want Spurs to beat Chelsea? Feel free to drop plenty of C-bombs on my behalf. I've had to read those out there. We've already answered it. This one, Kirshan Yadav, is... If there was a campaign against Chelsea, which I think is Jose Mourinho moaning there's a campaign against Chelsea, has it been a decade-long war against Arsenal? I mean, that's a brilliant question. And, yeah, I think you're right. Anyone else?
Yeah. Let's be honest, okay? If you look at the way the Bradford results were reported by the Daily Mail, you know, we were humiliated, apparently. Chelsea, Mourinho's dream of a quadruple slips away.
And they beat us on penalties, and they went and smacked Chelsea at their own ground.
Yeah, 4. They scored 4.
The problem is, right, is Arsenal fans, there's more of us, and we're more online, and there's more that bite more, and some unfortunate people in the press these days tend to make a living and make hits and clicks off of you reading the shit that they write about Arsenal, which, you know, people still get the ump with TalkSport, and you know they're just saying that shit just to get people to phone up and pay 50p a minute to fucking be sitting in the queue.
That's only when Durham is on. The rest of the time, TalkSport is brilliant, I must say.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but there's a whole industry built around pissing off Arsenal supporters and upsetting, slagging off the Arsenal supporters, and that's just how it is. You just really just got to sort of, once you see them at it, just fucking ignore them because they're fucking idiots. And it's just on a wind up. I mean, there's too many people that are professional journalists apparently who are just getting paid just to fucking write bollocks just to try and wind people up. It's just fucking ignore them. They're
it's only because we can read and the Spurs lot can't. They have to go by drawings and etchings on cave walls.
And let's be honest, the chavs only read Mein Kampf.
Have you got any more questions, Jace?
Yeah, I got a load.
Go on
right, Darryl Booth and Scott Jones. Darryl, your questions for next week. Scott, I'm not asking that. Mark Lewis, one of my favourites.
That's that done.
There's a few more. My feelings in the summer were that if the money available and there is no better man than Wenger, spend it. Do you think after Mahusiv mess up in the summer and now right in the wrong with Gabriel's signature, do you guys feel we've finally turned the corner?
No.
Joe, there you go, typical. Gim.
Sorry, I didn't. I was typing. I didn't hear the question.
Okay, ignore you. Danny.
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
I agree.
I
Thanks,
agree.
Mark.
Oh, there you go then. That's
Right.
All three of you are wrong.
Okay, one from Chris Tebb. Do you think Gabriel Paulista, now that's not his name, but I can't be bothered to look his name up, looks like a Martin Keown Silvino love child? Not a bad hybrid for a player, if you ask me. Do you think he looks like the love child of Keown and Silvino? Gav?
This is another thing that pisses me off. I don't give a fuck what players look like. I don't give a fuck whether they've got nice hair, bad hair. I don't give a fuck whether they should be, do you know what I mean, on men's magazines or walking up and down the catwalk. I just care how they play. Do you know what I mean? If we was talking about the ladies team and we was talking about, well, look, we've signed this player, but bloody hell, she's got small tits. I mean, that would be uproar, wouldn't it? Or, do you know what I mean, or she's. It's just bollocks. Talking about players' looks. Oh, fucking do me a favour. Fuck off.
Sorry, Chris, but that's the answer to that. Right, John Barrett. Okay, this question's for me. If I had a choice of Phil Neville or Gary Neville, and I could pick only one, which one would you hand out Welsh justice to? Actually, Danny, you answer that.
Oh, jeez. Chesney. I think you'd need to spend half an hour in a room with him and beat the stupid out of him. Actually, I might take 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, that's that then. Okay, Nicola Tielso. Who do you guys and girls think will be our most important player for the second part of the season? Danny, we'll go back to you on that.
It's going to be Sanchez, isn't it? I think it's Sanchez and Ozil. Yeah.
Okay. Kim?
I'd say Ozil, because I think Ozil has got to come in the team and he's going to play a pivotal role. And I think a lot of how he performs in the second half of the season might define his career with Arsenal.
Okay, Kate?
What was the question?
Who do you think is going to be our most important player for the second half of the season?
Can I have 3? Sanchez, Ozil and Santi.
Okay, cool. Gav?
Oh, oddly, I think it's Giroud. Because he's the only player that can more or less play a type of position and the role that he plays in at the moment. And when he's on form, we seem to sort of tick around him.
He's really stood up, hasn't he? He's really stood up.
Yeah, I'd like to say, I mean, he's never going to, I don't think he's ever going to score us 25, 30 goals a year, but he's just going to be, I just like the way we play when he plays well and everything sort of pivots around him and his first touch is good. He holds the ball up well. He doesn't lose it too often. And, he knows where the back of the net is as well. So I think, oddly, going forwards, the key role really is Giroud this year for the rest of the season.
And to be honest, for me, if we don't buy a holding midfielder, it's going to be Coquelin. Because, he's part of that glue that holds it all together. So I think you've got a lot of different answers there to that. I think it's all going to depend on team performances in all honesty. Right, next. Steve,
Am I allowed to ask any?
Yeah, you'll ask one after...
How many questions are there?
Millions. That is
Fucking
a question.
loads.
We get loads, Gav, loads.
I wish I bought another can of beer now.
One of them is, should we shoot more?
Fucking better not be.
Still my favourite question.
Should we concede
ever.
less goals?
Yeah.
Should Chesney save the ball more?
Yeah. Oh, fucking ridiculous. Right, go on.
Go on.
Are you waiting for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, I've got a couple. This person's name. You know how bad I am at names. It is spelled AKSHAT.
Akshat.
I'm putting it down as Axhat. See how loving I am to our brothers and sisters throughout the world. Bellerin Akpom. Oh, he spelt it, so I've done it right. Bellerin Apcom and Coquelin
Don't you dare.
and Mad Frankie Coquelin are out of contract at the end of the season. How important is it for us to renew their contracts? Go with Kate with that.
I think very important. The youth of the squad, they're coming through. They're not playing badly, in all honesty, and I think we have to keep these young talents that we find, because didn't he promote his whole youth policy and everything? But yeah, definitely give them a new contract.
Oh, good. I agree with that. Anyone else got anything other than agreeing with what Kate says?
No.
Yeah, sorry. They need to give him a new contract, but these kids also need to stand up and prove they're worth a new contract. It's all well and good, doing it in the reserves or the under-20s or whatever, but they've got to start pushing for places in the squad.
Okay, I've got one last question. I've got a few last ones, but this will be a short and easy one. Alex Gileadov says, the treble, lad. Is it still on, lads and lady? I added the lady bit. Gim,
No, I think we'll fall short.
how?
I think.
What does he mean by treble? The league?
The league, the FA Cup, and the
Fucking hell,
Champions League.
I didn't think about that. The bloke's on crack. Don't know, has he been getting his crack off of your bloke next door, Gim?
Obviously so.
Oh, jeez, it turned out to be, what was it, popping candy?
All I can
Never
say
known.
is I think he needs to bring up a couple of veins and then go back to his dream world.
I told you, an entire 2 kilos of crack for £1.50 wasn't bound to turn out good.
He's cheap here.
Does anybody think we're actually going to do the treble?
No.
Not in a million years.
I can hear you shaking your head and just looking unhappy, Gav, so I'm not even going to ask you.
Oh, sorry, as soon as the word treble was mentioned, I started reading my phone.
Okay. All right, then. A touch of Alexis says, who in our current crop of players will be the next club captain? And I'm going to add to that, other than Arteta, who is captain, and Mertesacker, who's vice captain. Who would you, Jace, who would you try and pick just one name and then pass it on?
I couldn't give a damn.
Fucking hell. Gav, let me guess you don't care.
I think the next captain should be Ramsey.
Oh.
We want a young captain who's going to come in and do the job for the next 5 years.
And then fuck off to Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly. All this fucking about giving somebody the role as captain and then selling them or them leaving the next year. We've got no stability. We need a bit of stability. So really, once Arteta, fucking he ain't even going, is he? That's a shame. No, we've got Arteta next year then. 'Cause no one's gonna fucking buy him, are they?
Who do you think, Gim?
I'd like to see Koscielny get the captaincy.
Oh.
Personally,
He's 29 though, isn't he?
yeah, but I just think that I kind of have
I do agree.
a certain sentimentality about a central defensive captain. I just think you lead from the back. Someone that's vocally fucking loud and can get the players buzzed up for it. I think, although you're right with Ramsey and in having that captain for a long period of time, I think in the meantime, I would probably go for Koscielny if we had to have one like here and now.
Kate, what do you reckon?
I'd probably say, Ramsey or Sanchez, because I think Sanchez can lead the team and he's always there and he's solid, and I think he could give, like the Thierry Henry boost. I think he could give that. But Ramsey has got the youth and he's got the passion, and yeah,
He's got the intelligence as well, to be fair.
Personally, I'd
Be the
pick.
first one out of Wales with any intelligence.
You twat.
Accents being that.
Oh, it's all gone to shit. I'd pick Jack Wilshere only because for me he's so Arsenal and everything. He's just brilliant about him. But I just want to give him a slap to him and sort his fucking life out with everything that he's doing on and off the pitch.
He needs a bit of time. He needs to focus, doesn't he?
Does, but I think that maybe if he plays in a slightly different position and then Oh, is he? What do they want? About 50 million for Andre Schürrle.
Yeah, he'll go for about 20, I'd imagine.
It doesn't say. It just says that
What a
the
waste of a
breaking
player.
news that he's agreed personal terms ahead of move from Chelsea.
Bloody hell, Wolfsburg.
Dropped a bollock there. Andre Schürrle's a good player.
He
We
is.
all saw him in the
Quick.
World Cup. Fantastic. Really
He
rate
is.
him.
Right, that's all of my questions done. The one thing has gone through my head. The other day we were talking about who the ABW, what footballers, what Arsenal players would have been. I would be Kenny Sampson post-retirement, I think.
Oh, Danny.
Oh, he's a bit chubsky, isn't he?
Leave it.
Yes.
That's not good. That's not, I got 2 questions left. They're both silly.
Go on.
Shoot.
Dave Pledger. Will I be standing? Will Jason be standing for the FIFA presidency? Should I? Yes or no? 1-word answers.
No, because you're a cunt.
That says it all. End of. And it's true as well.
But so Sepp Blatter, he is.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd make his corruption look absolutely fucking amateur. I'd be taking backhanders left, right and centre. I'd have my own island. I'm not being funny. Wales would win the World Cup every year. We'd have a World Cup every year. Wales would win it every year. I'd fucking nuke everybody else. They could all fuck off. Oh, it'd be heaven.
He'd make Browning before a game compulsory.
Only for Brendan Rodgers.
Ah.
Chris Tunmo's asking, is it true that Danny has Diaby locked in the boot of his car and feeds him mini cheddars? Chris, yes.
No, Danny don't share his mini cheddars.
I don't actually eat them anymore because I'm allergic to wheat and it gives me a shitty arse.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not being funny, okay? Once again, listeners, apologies. Scrape the bottom.
Why is it always the last few listener questions that this shit goes downhill?
Because they
I
know how to
literally-
do it.
I don't...
Every week.
To be fair, it's Danny's influence, isn't it?
It's
It is.
disgusting.
I blame Danny. Hashtag blame Danny. It wasn't Canada's fault.
But on FIFA,
Blame-
go and buy Diaby because he's brilliant.
Right then, could we move on to some...
What the fuck? Someone just exploded. What was that?
I have no idea what that was.
Well, you can say bless you if you like.
I thought you shit yourself. Do you need a nurse to check both ends?
Judging by the sound of it, I think he might have.
I just sneezed and I couldn't get to the mute button quick enough.
Right, should we do some world famous predictions league? So we're going to start off with Danny. Aston Villa at home. Go on.
5-0.
5-0.
And first goal scorer is going to be Ozil.
And you sit there at the end of the season. Oh, I don't even know what close the season.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. Kate?
4-1 Giroud.
I bet you don't get it in the ear.
No, not usually.
Oh, no.
I still haven't had dinner yet. She's got to cook it. That's a brilliant prediction. Jason?
Jesus. 6-0 to the Arsenal.
6-0.
I'm lagging behind the league. I need to get some points.
We beat them 7-0 a while ago and Tony Woodcock got all 6 or 5 or
But not
7.
Quite a while ago.
We need to hump these fuckers after last season.
Gav,
Okay?
Gav, please install something. Oh,
6. Oh, yeah, I haven't chosen my first to score yet.
Diaby? Ospina?
Mertesacker.
You don't want to win it either, do you? Gav?
You monkeys.
I'll go 4-1 and Giroud.
Okay, I'm going 2-0 Alexis. And shout outs. I'll start first with this one. Mine goes to a top fella. I know you know him too, Gav. His Twitter name is @Guna_Dow. But what a lovely, lovely fella. I've been chatting to him this week and I've known him for quite a while. And I have to say he's one of the kindest, most genuine Gooners on Twitter. So go and give him a follow. That's @Guna_Dow.
Nice
Gav?
fella.
Yeah, he is. Gav?
I think I saw him last weekend.
Did you?
Oh, anyway. Yeah, I think so. I think we crossed paths drunk a few times, I think.
As long as,
Anyway.
as long as they're not crossing swords, that's all right.
No, not at all. Not at all, mate. We live in London, not the valleys.
I was going to say,
Anyway.
what happens in Wales stays in Wales.
I haven't got anything planned, but like I say, the only fella that I know that I speak to every now and then, I have a chat on the phone every now and then, called Davey Boyd, who's at BOYD_D1. And he said he was very happy to hear me on because he said it's been shit without me. and he's looking forward to listening to Mo on his way to work.
Well, it has been, Gav. Seriously, it's gone. It has
Hold
gone
up, yeah.
downhill.
It
Terrible.
hasn't been shit without you.
I mean, we had to replace you with Jason, and then you look how that's turned out.
Did you keep the receipt, Gim?
No, I
fuck.
fucking chucked it away.
Was it written in crayon anyway?
No, it was written in dribble.
It'll be written in blood next.
Oh, Welsh justice. Jace?
Friend of the pod, Axel Falk at InstaFalk1886. That's INSTAFALK 1886. He's a really nice guy. Always
That's given me an idea for the end music.
Okay.
Axel Falk. Oh, you're going for Axel F, are you?
Oh.
Do the Family Guy one.
And another. Kate?
My shout out this week is for a girl I work with because she told me I had to give her my shout out. And to be fair, she makes my Saturdays and Sundays go a bit quicker because she's absolutely mental. Her name's Emily. She's lovely. She's Welsh, obviously.
She's
And
Gemini.
no, she's blonde.
Oh, never mind.
And her Twitter name is at Emily Flynney. EMILYFLYNNY. And she is lovely and she's funny, so give her a follow.
And finally, Danny.
Well, keeping it on a female trend, I'm going to pick someone who found us on our Stitcher app and thought I'm sure it's her that did it. And she said, "Oh, that looks good. I'm going to give a listen." And now she's a fan of the show, and that's Accidental Gooner, the Australian Goonerette.
She top girl.
Yeah, it's
Lovely swap.
at ACCIDENTEL, and she's only got 53 followers, and that is a disgrace. I think she's quite young because I don't see any swearing.
Well, we've got to be on that like a tramp on chips.
Yes.
So everybody that listens, go and follow. So that's about it from our part. The next time that you will hear us is on transfer deadline day. Danny, you'll probably hear about 6 o'clock in the evening when he gets out of bed. But we're running again from 12 o'clock every 2 hours. And then at 10:30, we're going to try and get as many of us together to analyse our day. So that'll just be tears and general swearing. But we've got Jan Arga Fjortoft is the special guest kicking us off at 12 o'clock. On that one is going to be Stevie Hurst from the Arsenal in My Blood podcast, as well as Kate and Chris. The rest of the panellists are going to be on throughout the day, so you will get to hear Jeff Arsenal. I know Tim Payton's booked in as well. Gav, you're going to be in there as well. So there's lots of great people that we've managed to book, and keep in touch with the Twitter account because we will be releasing the lineups as and when we can get them confirmed. But it's 90% of the way there. Chris is helping me with it as well. So basically, stay tuned for that one. Apart from that, next Thursday, our special guest will be Tim Payton. I think we're trying to get FK on for that one as well. It's like a blast from the past, isn't it? We're giving them a blast from the past. Gav this week, FK next week, Tim as well, because he's not done a bit for a while. So it's all good. Everything's good at our end. So keep listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. So that was a Bergkamp Wonderland podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And keep it Arsenal. Good night.
Nanu, cheeky monkeys. I've got a blog out soon. Go have a look.
A bog.
A blog.
Can you read and write?
No, I just paw prints and dribble.
I mean, a T-shirt with Bully's face on it. Oh, fuck off.